A lot of players, yeah, they finna be bothered by this video, and I could care less. Some things, they just need to be said. We finna get into all the details. Y'all be sure to drop a like and drop a sub if you can. You guys can help us get one step closer to 100K subscribers, a huge goal for us here on the channel. Now, to first understand the context of this video, you need to understand the history and the culture of the 2K community. We spent years in a game where one player can drop off an entire team, but now we have evolved into gameplay where one weak link on your team could get your team dropped off. 2K and the 2K culture used to be a game about embarrassing your opponent, all while dropping buckets. It wasn't just enough to score, you had to score with style. And 2K, the game, encouraged and catered to that idea by allowing you guys to get a ton of ankle breakers and automatically greening after every single ankle breaker animation. If you're new to 2K, a lot of you guys, you haven't even seen that type of gameplay. That's because the game has evolved into a more team-oriented type of game. So now when we fast forward into present day, you got a bunch of players that are still kind of stuck in the past. They want to embarrass their opponent and score buckets. We got a lot of players over the years that have been traumatized by this experience because they've been embarrassed. So they spent the next couple years trying to just get right so they could start embarrassing other players. They just wanted their get back. But unfortunately for them, while they spent years training to be a comp sort of guard, the game was evolving. And now it's not so much about one man beating an entire team. In 2K24, more so than ever, it's a team effort, it's a coordinated effort. And when you match up two elite teams, one man lacking that coordination could pretty much cost you guys the game. So now that we've locked in and locked down on the context of this video, I want to reference a bunch of tweets. But you guys, let me know if you agree with the evolution. That was my take, and I'm a player. I've been playing this game since the very first 2K was ever released on Dreamcast. If you guys disagree, that's okay too. Just share your thoughts respectfully in the comment section below. I would like to first reference this tweet from Hank the Tank. He starts off this tweet by saying, "Sim Nation ruined 2K24," and I can't help but laugh about that, but we'll get into it. He says, "We got old heads with 20% win percentages talking like they know everything about the game when they are absolutely clueless." Then we have Mike Wayne going on Reddit listening to the wrong people for feedback. In parentheses, he puts Sim Nation, instead of people who play the game every day at the highest competitive level and actually understand the game. Hank the Tank goes on to say, then he goes making different updates every single day, making shooting easy, then impossible, then easy again, instead of keeping the gameplay the same or fixing the things that actually need to be fixed. Let me ask you guys something. Do you feel someone with a 20 win percentage on 2K should have any type of say-so in what goes on with the development of 2K? I'm definitely curious to hear your feedback on that. They paid the same amount of money. Should they have a say-so? Should they have a voice? I personally believe that that's part of the evolution of 2K development. That's part of the evolution that a lot of players that played the game in years past failed to accept. Over the last few years, 2K has been listening to the casual player base. And in my opinion, from a business standpoint, it makes sense for 2K, as casuals make up the good majority of players within the 2K community. But a lot of y'all, including myself, don't care about the business sense of things. We would like to know what this means as far as the evolution of actual gameplay. And when that gameplay has been changed primarily for casuals, what does that mean for the general population of 2K? And that helps me segue and lead into this next post by All That Jazz. He says there's only one 2K group that's really winning out there, the casuals. He goes on to say these MFers play easy offline game modes for fun, turn it off and never think about it again. They just be touching grass in this. He goes on to say, how do I become a casual again? Are they recruiting? If you're anything like me, you probably smiled after that last post. And that's because if you're a casual out there, you understand it. You say, well, I just get on the game to have fun. You get on the game for what it's intended for, to create fun for yourself. And I feel like that's what a lot of players are failing to realize. 2K is no longer a lifestyle, and I believe that's a good thing. You can now go and take a shower. I would like to reference this next post from Crispy saying, you talking too loud. The comp players don't like new things. You're going to upset them. He goes on to say, I was getting rage-fueled replies based on that alone. And when you make a good point, they just move the goalposts. There's been a lot of talk on Twitter between the comp community and in the casual community, or maybe some people like to call the Sim Nation community. Players who would actually prefer a more simulated version of basketball. And this is what I mean about the community and gameplay evolving. Now more than ever, casuals and Sim Nation players have a louder voice than ever before. Folks are listening, from 2K development to a lot of 2K players. Back in the day, it was only comp players whose words were considered scripture by the masses of the 2K community. But now a lot of comp players' words just fade to the background. Their voice is not nearly as loud or as big as their egos in their heads. Pause. And when I personally reference comp players, I want you guys to know that there's a lot of comp players out there that conduct themselves respectfully, but you also got a lot of comp players within the 2K scene that just have a super loud mouth. They be just getting on Twitter and just typing up a storm. You know them folks, you've seen them out there. They only respond to negativity, an eye for an eye, only matching negative energy, 4'6", constantly yapping and barking at somebody. You know them dudes I be talking about. Oftentimes I just look at them type of folks like a little chihuahua. Aw, that man's upset, looking at them like a proud dad watching their only son that made it. They acting real goony like. What the hell's a goon to a goblin? And by the way, we will be recruiting goons and goblins for GTA 6. I would like to reference this next post from Ron, True Baller, saying, I'm trying to be a goon for AllCity Live gang in GTA 6. We will be making that happen. Y'all stay tuned with that. And that helps me segue into this next post that Dimework ended up responding to from FTO Wokey. He says the 2K community is the only community that gets mad when someone is effective without playing the meta way. Dimework ends up responding to that saying, it's almost like they are insinuating they would/could play like that too if it worked against the best players. But the reality is they won't ever know because they simply don't play that way or use those moves. They're used to playing one way, and that's fine. Everyone is entitled to play however they want. A sim style player playing against a comp team would prove nothing. Literally anyone who hasn't played in a comp environment will be an idiot to step into it and think they're gonna show out. Dimework says it's literally a trap just to try to downplay a certain style of gameplay. With enough experience and competent players, I'm certain any style of play can be effective in any game mode. And that's exactly why I be messing with Dimework, because he actually speaks the unbiased truth. There's a bunch of players on 2K currently that are considered comp and have evolved their gameplay past what's considered meta. A good example of that is Joe Knows. Go ahead and watch Joe Knows play on the comp scene and see what he does out there. I wouldn't consider Joe Knows' playstyle as meta. He's just hella smart. A player that will drop you guys off respectfully. He lets his gameplay speak what needs to be said. Then he just moves on. That helps me segue into this next post from 2K Fitness that Black Cobra ended up responding to. 2K Fitness says, saying you don't respect an entire community in general just screams ignorance in my opinion. There are all types of personalities in every community, people from all walks of life with different personalities. Black Cobra responds to that by saying, and I stand 10 toes down on it. Like I said, there are people I'm cool with who are comp and people I don't even know but respect how they move. But the few does not outweigh the many. In general, I don't respect that community, and whatever the consequence is for me saying that, I accept it. It is what it is. And to help give you guys some context as to why Black Cobra feels like this, I would like to reference this next tweet where he says, it's basically common decency. I played against other content creators solo with randoms, but because they've always kept it respectful, I never minded pulling up, win, lose, or draw. I don't do backhanded compliments, I don't do disrespect, that's not how I move. Had it been respectful from the beginning, I'd at least consider entertaining it. That avenue has been closed since the reaction to Demi's tweet some months ago. How the comp community directed that energy towards me closed that road. And the way some of the comp content creators chose to initiate interaction with me burned that bridge. That was in response to this tweet from Nate. Says OFC doesn't play dudes who talk like that. Some people got to remember, everybody ain't a child. A lot of us are grown men. Show some respect. I would like to wrap this video up by saying we're in a different state of 2K. 2K is no longer a lifestyle. People don't live this day in and day out anymore. We're just in a transitional stage where gameplay is evolving and folks just gotta either accept it or move on. If you guys are tired of running with randoms and you're looking for players to run with on NBA 2K, come on out and join our Discord. We'd love to have you. The link for Discord will be in the description below. I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in, and y'all be sure to keep it locked right here at AllCity Live TV, because we got a bunch more NBA 2K24 news, information, and updates coming your way. Drop a like and drop a sub. on your way out. I'll catch you guys on the next video or live stream. Easy, y'all.